Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Planet for Tech. So as you know, in my last class, I have described you about the basics of PHP. That was the part one, but here I'm going to describe you basic of PHP part two. So now today I am going to describe you some new topics. So first of all, let's see like what we have covered in the previous section and what we are going to cover in this today's class. So in the previous class, we have covered this part like what is PHP and why we use the PHP and PHP features, PHP prerequisites and install PHP. So these all topics we have already covered. So in the today's class, we are going to cover PHP tags, echo print, echo versus print, and a single quote versus double quote, variables in PHP, comments in PHP, and the constants in PHP. So this is the uh, basic part of PHP part 2 you can say, but after this we will start the core PHP. So but some developers consider these parts also as a core PHP, but after having the 10 year of experience, I have feel like this should not be this should not come in the core PHP part. It should come as a basic of part or basic of PHP only. Now let's start the topic PHP tags, echo print, echo versus print. So what are the PHP tags here we will understand, and then after we'll cover the echo print, echo versus print. So today's session will be more on practical lesson theoretical. So let me start the Visual Studio. So I think you all are aware about like the PHP to run the PHP we need a server kind of environment. So for that in my laptop I have installed the XAMPP. You can see this XAMPP is installed and this is services is started here. So going to create one file inside the WAMP www folder, and there I am going to explain you these topics. So you can see in the C drive 64 WAMP 64 version I have installed. So in this practice folder, going to create one file, and in that file, we'll describe you the things there. So guys, hope you are in a better state to understand. Like we are learning gradually, but we are learning very sound things. So as you all can see, I started my Visual Studio. So now I'm going to create one file here inside the practice folder that will is index.php. So in this index.php, if I am going to write something without using any PHP tags, and let's see what's happened. If I am writing some command of PHP like echo and see uh, hello world, how it uh, works here. So here we need to run localhost slash the name of the folder that is practice. Here you can see the echo hello world. Whatever I have written is being displayed as it is. Means this part is not being processed by PHP. However, we have written this code inside the .php file. But writing the code inside .php not ensures like all the PHP command will get executed. So which part of line or which part of code is responsible for that? So here the role comes of PHP tags. So if I'm going to write this in this way, let's suppose PHP opening tag and the PHP closing tag. So this will work. Can see now it is printing the correct output hello world, and the echo command is not being printed because this is already processed by PHP. Here you can see. So this echo command will get recognized only if you have used this command inside the proper PHP tags. Now, what are those PHP tags which are being recognized inside the PHP? So there are basically three type of tags we use in a PHP. So those tags are nothing but you can say these are the three tags of PHP. You can say can canonical PHP tags. So this is the canonical PHP tags. So most commonly all the developers and communities are using this kind of PHP tags only. And this is the short tags of PHP. This was being supported by the older version of PHP. However, if you want to support it in the new version of PHP, so you can enable this from the php.ini file. So every PHP servers have some php.ini. From there you can update, enable it. So, but in the new version of PHP, this is not recommended. So we should not use it. But for knowing purpose, you can use it. And the third one is the expression tags. So this is bit different. So here the expression tags is used only to print something. It's you can say a replica of echo command. So we will see these three tags in practically, and you can see the first and the second. These two tags are used to print every command of PHP, but this part is used only to print the expression. So going to describe you this in practical. So you can see here. So this is the PHP opening tag. This is question mark and PHP opening tag, and this is the PHP closing tag. Inside this, I have written the echo hello world. So this echo command is working inside the PHP only. Instead of this, if I am going to use, so this is the canonical PHP tag, and let's suppose I am going to use another shorthand tag like this and see what it is doing. For now, let me comment it and see. So you can see here it is not working because this short tag of PHP is not supported by my current PHP. So currently I am using the PHP version 8.0. You can check like what PHP version you are using by using this command echo PHP underscore version. So this will give you the idea about what version of PHP you are using right now in your laptop or device. So just see here, you can see the version is the 8.1.0, means the current PHP version installed in my laptop is the 8.1.0, which is the very latest one, and it is not supporting the short tags of PHP. So this was the role of this short and PHP, which was being supported by the older version of PHP 5.6 and before 7.0, you can say. And so this was the second part of second tag of PHP. Now check the third tag of PHP. So for that we use expression tag. So this is the expression tag you can see here. So this way inside this we can pass any expression. Expression means anything which not require the processing or which require the minimal processing, that and always gives some kind of output, that is considered as expression here. Let's suppose if I'm writing here any string demo, you can write I am Jack. So you can see this is the string value and we want this string to be printed. That is why we are using here expression tag, and this expression tag, as I already told, this is the replica of echo. This is a replica of echo, means this expression tag will do the same work what we can achieve with the help of PHP. Here you can see echo. If I am going to use this expression here also, so both uh, both will give you same output. So as I told you, this expression tag is nothing but a replica of echo command available in the PHP. So both will give you same output. I'm going to show you one by one. See, here it is showing the I am Jack, and just check it with the normal canonical PHP tag. Let me remove it for now and see is this working or not. So you can see guys, I am Jack, it is working also, so both are same. So believe these three kinds of PHP tags are clear for all of you. Canonical PHP tags, which is very much recommended in the latest version of PHP. Short tags, This was being supported by older version of PHP less than 7.0, and the expression tags, these are being supported by the older version of PHP as well as the new version of PHP. The only limitation of expression tag is it can be used only for printing the expressions. It is the replica of echo. That's it. So this was about the PHP tags. Now, next point is echo, print, echo versus print. So this echo and print, these two are nothing but the PHP construct. What is the PHP constructs? So PHP construct means I'm going to show you. Let me start one PHP opening. See guys, this is the PHP opening tag and closing tag. Here I'm going to describe you PHP, sorry, echo and print. Sorry. So these two are nothing but what? These are the PHP constructs. So these are the PHP construct. So what the mean of construct in PHP? Construct mean there is something which is used for printing purpose, and we are not passing parentheses every time. If we are passing parentheses every time like this, let's suppose I'm creating this way. If we are passing parenthesis like this every time, and this is very mandatory, this is mandatory, then this is not a construct, then this is considered as a function. But if this parenthesis is not mandatory, so we can call it as a construct also. So echo and print both works as a PHP construct, and both are used only for printing the PHP printing in the PHP, printing output in the PHP. So you can see here echo and print. So there are some similarity as well as there are some differences also. So those similarities are nothing but, so both echo and print, these are two PHP commands which are the PHP constructs. So both can be called with and without the parenthesis, means parenthesis is not mandatory with echo and per print. You can use it, otherwise you can avoid it. So both are PHP constructs and both can be called with the parenthesis or without the PHP parenthesis. So both are used to display the output in PHP. So with the help of echo and print, you can display the output in PHP. So I'm going to create a simple program just to add two numbers, just to demonstrate like how this echo and PHP is working here. So let's suppose we have one variable a equals to 12 and another variable b equals to 13. Now we want to display the summation of these two values. So I'm going to write it like this: $C equals to $A plus $B. In my previous video, I have given a short brief about why we use the dollar here. So dollar is used just to create the variable in the PHP. Now I want to print the result. So for printing the result, I am using the echo here. Uh, Result equals to, and as I want to concatenate, as I want to append this string with this print, so using the dot operator here, $C. So guys, let's see what output it's giving us. You can see result is 25, means this A and B are added, and the output C is displayed like this. So same output we can display with the help of print also. Let me comment it and going to show you the same output with the help of print like this. Can you see the result is same? So what we can conclude here? So we can conclude only 2 points. The first point, both are PHP construct, and these can be called with or without parenthesis. Let me show you with parenthesis also. You can see here, if I'm passing parenthesis, with parenthesis I'm calling print, so it will give the same output, and without parenthesis also it gives the same output. So the conclusion is both echo and print are PHP construct, and both can be called with the help of parentheses and without parentheses also, and both are used to display the output in PHP. Now, what is the differences? So these questions come in an interview. So the guys who are fresher and searching for the interview in PHP career, so they must care about this part. What the difference in the PHP? The first difference is print returns 1 and echo does not return any value. What this return is? So in a later video I will describe you the there are some functions, there are some argument, there are some return, but for now, for simplicity, I am just considering this line only. So let me show you how this print returns one. If after running this line, if I am storing the output of print in any variable like this, and after this, if I am printing this, so what it gives us? Definitely it should give us 1. Let me show you. Can you see here? The 1 is appended. Let me give you one new line here so that, uh, sorry, BR. Line break HTML tag we can use for new line. You can see it is printing 1. Why it is printing 1? Because print always return 1. So the value of print after executing this line will be 1, and that 1 is going to be assigned to variable d, and that d we are printing here, that is why it is giving you output as 1. And let me check the same thing with echo. Can see I am using the same thing with echo, so it is giving some syntax error. So it ensures that echo never returns any value. But in case of PH print, it was returning some value that was 1. Let me show you practically. So this is the parse error, means syntax errors, the echo. So the conclusion is what? Print returns 1 and the echo does not return any value. So this was the first difference. Now, what is the second difference? So in case of echo, we can pass multiple strings by separating the comma, but in case of print, it is not possible. What it means? Showing you. Let's suppose I am going to use echo, and I have two string like I am Mohan. So these are the two different strings, and we are using echo to print this. So it is printing I am Mohan. It means yes, correct. So guys, can you see here with the echo, we can pass multiple string by separating a comma. It will work and it will print the whole string as a single string. So the output will be I am Mohan. But in case of print, this is not possible. I'm going to show you. See here. I am using print in the same way, but this is not possible here because it will give you PHP syntax error. Let me show you. Can you see here? Parse error means syntax error. It means this kind of syntax is not supported by PHP. So I hope the second point is also clear. We can pass multiple strings separated by comma in echo, but not in print. So this was the second difference. Now, third difference is very common. Echo is faster than print statement. So echo statement is very faster than print statement. So this was the point in echo print and echo versus print. I hope this is clear, very much clear for all, like what is the difference between echo and print. However, similarity is same, like both are used for displaying the output, but the difference are other. Now, the next topic is single quote versus double quote. Single quote versus double quote. So going to describe you the single quote and double quotes. Guys, in your keyboard, you can see there are two type of quotes we use basically. Let me give you one example, then after I hope you will be able to understand. Uh, like I'm going to create one PHP variable name, and inside this name, I'm using the single variable you guys can see. Let me see, let me create first name. So first, or no, let me make it very simple. Name is Mohan uh, Gupta. Here. Now I'm going to print this echo dollar name. So you will see the output is the complete name Mohan Gupta. And if I'm separating it, if I'm using the same with double quote, let me comment the first one. It will give the same result. So this was the similarity. But what is the difference? The difference is if you are using a dollar inside a single quote, guys, this point you have to note. If we are using dollar inside a single quote, then it will treat it as a variable. I am showing you. Let me give you another example here. So let me make it first name Mohan and last name as Gupta. So these are the first name, last name, and I want to print the complete name. So the first name and the last name. Echo, my name is. I am going to print this inside single quote so that you can understand like how single quotes behaves with dollar variable. You can see my name is. I am going to use the first name, or simply you can keep it name only, not the first name. Make it more clear. Inside this, if I am using the name, so you can see it is showing my name is dollar name. What it means? It means this thing, whatever dollar variable we are using inside the single quote is being treated as a normal string rather than a variable. But if you are using same command with double quote, so output will be different because here the double quote is not going to consider this dollar name as a string, but it will consider it as a variable. So it will display you the value of that variable. Guys, you can see it is showing my name is Mohan. So by looking this example, I hope this is very much clear for you, like what is the difference between single quote and double quote. So we can conclude it. So if we are using single quote, so the variable inside the single quote is considered as a normal string and the variable's value will not get printed. But in case of double quote, it is not considered as a normal string, but instead of that, it prints the value of that variable. So this was the single quote versus double quote. Now come to the topic variables in PHP. So there are two things in a PHP you can, not in PHP, in every programming language you can consider. There are two things in a programming language. One is variables, and other is constants. constants. So variables at its names represent variable means something which can be varied, that is the variable, and constant which can't be changed, which can't be altered later on, that is the constant whose value will be constant. So let's see how we declare variable, how we create variable, and how we create constant in PHP. So first of all, I'm going to describe you how to create the variable in PHP. So to create the variable in PHP, we need to use the dollar sign, and after that we have to give the name of the variable. So let me create one variable, username equals to Alexi. Any name you can give. So this way we can create the variable. Simply keep a dollar sign, and after that you can give the name of the variable, and you have to give a equal to operator, and that after you have to pass its value. So this value get stored in this variable. Now prints the variable echo, and you can see the value will get printed. It is showing the name of some person, that is Alexi. So there will be certain rules to create the variable name, because we cannot create the variable name randomly. Let's suppose I decided to create it like this one. I want to start my variable name with numerical digit 1. So it is not supported by PHP. You can see here parse error. So in this way, there are certain rules of creating PHP variables. So those rules we have to consider while creating the PHP variables. So let me describe you what rules we need to consider while creating the PHP variables. Let me type here so that you guys can make a note. Rules needed. Rules must followed while creating PHP variables. So these are first rules. Variables must not be start from numerical digit. Start later must not be digit. This is the first rule. And start later must not be digit, and special character also. So start later, in the start later you cannot use the digit and characters. Apart from this, you can use other things. Let's suppose if I am using ampersand. So this one also is not supported. You can see. So in the start letter, you can't use the digit and characters. So what you can use start later. So in the start later, you can use underscore. You can use uh, A to Z or small letter A to Z. So these things you can use as a start letter of PHP variables. So this was the second rule. And the third rule is you can't use the space between the variable name. Space not allowed in variable name. I'm going to show you. Let's suppose if I want to, if I'm giving one space here, this font is very small. Let me zoom it for you guys if possible. I hope now this is clear. Let me, yeah. So you can see. So if I'm going to write it user space name. So space is not allowed in the variable name. Let me print it. Again, it is giving the parse error. It means space are not allowed. But for better readability, if you want to make it separate two words, so that time you are recommended to use the underscore to separate the words in a variable. This is recommended in PHP to achieve better readability in the code. Now you can see it is working. So these three rules you have to follow while creating the variables. Start letter must not be digit and special characters, but start letter can be underscore and capital letter, small letter, and spaces are not allowed inside the variable name. So these are the basic rules you have to follow while getting the PHP variable. Now come to the next points. So these are the variables. Why this is called as a variables? Variable because here we have printed as username, so it is showing the LXC, and later on we can alter its value. And if I am going to write it, Mohan, and if I will print the same thing here in the line number 10, so this time it is going to give us, let me give one new line. For new line we have to pass BR. So in here it will give us output as Mohan, but in the line number 7 it will give us output as let me give Ram, can say, correct. So the first one it is showing Ram and the second one it is showing as a Mohan. So here you can see the same variable is being used by two times, but its value is changed. In the line number 5 its value was Ram, but in the line number 9 its value changed, so it becomes Mohan. So this is by this nature of variable, this is called as variable because its value can be changed. So this was the variables. But what is the constant? Now comes the constants. So constants are those whose value can't be changed later on. Once it is defined, we can't change its value. So there are two ways to create the constant in PHP. The first one is by using the const keyword. So by using the const keyword, you can use the const. You can create the constant. Let me create the constant. Uh, Username equals to Ram, and printing it equal dollar username. Let's see, is it working or not? Sorry, it is not working. So we are missing something. Constant dollar. This is static. I think we are missing something here. Okay, we will check it why this is giving error. And the other way of using PHP constant is by using the define tag. Let me give you this. Maybe some setting issue in my laptop or php.ini file. I will check it. Will give you the resolution in the next video. So here you can use like this. So let me run it. So with the help of define method, you can define the constant like this. Oh, it is showing some errors. Username means definitely there are some mistake doing here. Oh, sorry. Here you can see while printing the constant, we don't need to pass the dollar because this is a constant, not a variable. You can see it is printing. So there are two way of creating the constant. One is the define keyword and another is the const keyword. So define is kind of method. So it is the name of the constant. The name of the constant is username and it is the second parameter is the value of the constant, that is the RAM. And while printing the constant, we don't need to pass the variable, sorry, dollar sign. We can pass the name of the constant itself and it will work. Let's suppose I'm going to change its value after this line. So is it possible? Let me check. I'm going to make it Mohan. So see what errors it is showing. You can see the constant username already defined. What it means in line number 6? It means if something is already defined, then we cannot alter if that things is constant. So here you can see username is a constant, so we cannot change its value later on. That is why it is giving that error. So this was all about the variables and constant in PHP. Now the last topic is comments in PHP. How we create comments in PHP. So comment is what? So guys, we use the comment in programming language for our developer understanding, and comments are being ignored by the programming compiler and interpreter. So compiler and interpreter never uh, execute the comments part. This is only for our understanding, for developer understanding. Let's suppose I am going to work anything here. I'm going to create a short program to add two variables. So adding two variables. So this is the single line of comment, and this is multi-line of comment. Creating examples. So if you have multiple line of comments, so you can use this syntax. Otherwise, this is single line of comment. Let's suppose $a equals to 12, $b equals to 13. Let me print its summation $a plus $b and see is it working or not. So guys, you can see it is not working because there are some issue in my PHP setting. Let me check what is this. Why this is using like this. Now I guess some settings. You can see here this single line comment is not being considered. If I am using multi-line comments, so it is also not being considered. So these are ignored by PHP interpreter. So this way there are two types of comments, single line and multi-line comments in PHP. So these all topics we have completed. And guys, in the next session I'm going to describe you I'm going to start, not describe, I'm going to start the core PHP first session. So guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you all are getting clarity on basic of PHP. Thank you all.